What's up, everybody? I'm John Middlekauff. You know what I need you to do. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We got content for days reacting to every NFL game all the time, every single day. Subscribe, like the videos. Let's go. Over the weekend, Quinshon Judkins, I'd say star running back once upon a time, looked like he was going to be a lock. As a scout told me this weekend, I would have bet anything after seeing him as a freshman he would be a top 20 pick. He was SEC Freshman of the Year. I think he ran for like 1,500 yards and 16 touchdowns, dominated at Ole Miss as an 18, 19-year-old kid. And then a couple years later, he transfers to Ohio State and still gets drafted in the top 40 picks. He spent basically, I think, close to 24 hours in jail for allegedly throat punching his girlfriend in the chin and throat repeatedly. And this is a disaster situation for the Browns. Also, we'll get into this in a second. The NFL has a problem right now because all these second rounders refuse to sign their contract because they want every penny guaranteed. And I think all but 2 second rounders have not signed their contracts. And Judkins is one of those guys. He is an unsigned player. Now, listen, if Judkins was a 7th round pick and some random running back out of some random school that was like whatever, he would have been cut today. They would cut him immediately. So you know where I stand. I'm not some moral high horse guy. I don't give a shit. I don't look to the NFL to, I would say, guide me to the way society and the way I and my family and my potential children should operate in life. This is entertainment and business for me. I don't give a shit, truly. And if that makes you uncomfortable, I don't know what to tell you. I'm numb to all this stuff, been doing it long ago. But the simple reality is, if he was a third-day pick, if he was a 5th, 4th rounder potentially, I think he would be cut today. But he's a high second-round pick, and he's a big-time talent. And let's face it, they drafted him to replace Nick Chubb. And I think this is what's tough about the NFL is sometimes you replace a guy. Nick Chubb wasn't just a great player before he got injured, was like everything you would want in a person. He checks all the boxes. And this guy, who I started texting around, like, was this guy a character concern? It's like, no, we didn't have any issues. The only negativity we ever heard was Ole Miss was a little bitter, a little butthurt when he transferred, but like, welcome to 2025 college football. Ohio State offered him a bag and he bounced. And in a weird way, he kind of had like an underachieving season. I think a lot of people thought that he would go to Ohio State and dominate. And actually, the other guy, I'd say, had more splash plays. And he's on New England. I mean, they had 2 guys get drafted in the top of the 2nd round. But this is what makes drafting so difficult. It's like when you draft Mike Hall, a guy with a ton of red flags, you cannot be shocked when you have an issue. That comes with the territory. And teams know that, especially during this time of year, where guys are off 40 or 50 days. They used to say it's like first time they have money in their pocket. No, all these guys were rich in college. So like they've had money in their pocket for a while. I mean, this incident allegedly happened in a rented Lamborghini SUV. Like, I got news for you. He was probably renting that Lamborghini SUV when he was at Ohio State as well. This guy's had some coin. But these situations, like you draft Mike Hall, you can't be shocked when something happens. You draft a red flag guy who other teams are like, yeah, he's not on our board. You're not shocked when it happens. But it can also happen when you draft a guy that, like, yeah, we didn't have any character red flags on. And then we get this alert, we get this phone call. We're like, what is going on? Now, I don't expect them to cut him. I don't know exactly how the situation is going to play out with all these second rounders. I do understand where they're coming from. I've had some people DM me. It's like, I thought all these contracts were slotted. Well, they are slotted. The second rounders are not arguing over the total amount of the money that's in the contract. That can't be changed. What they're arguing over, let's just pick a number. Let's say the total value of my contract is $5 million. Unlike the first round, where your first 4 years are fully guaranteed. So when I draft you at pick 12, it doesn't guarantee I'm going to pick up your 5th-year option. But when I draft you at pick 12, like the Cowboys just did the guard, or the 49ers did the pass rusher from Georgia, those 2 guys, whether they become all pros or busts, are guaranteed to see every penny of their first 4 years of their contract. Obviously, the 5th-year option usually, always, I would say 90% of the time is based on how you play. Sometimes it's like, well, you've underachieved a little bit, but we're the team that drafted you. I think second rounders are fighting for we want every penny guaranteed because they're not. And depending on how far you go down, like we can get out of that contract pretty early. You see guys in the second round cut after a couple years all the time. And the reason they are cut after that period of time typically is because I can get out of the money. It's why you see guys that are drafted in the first round that it's clear they're not very good. Usually play out all 4 years. Every once in a while they're traded, and that means the other team will pick up that portion of the contract. But I would say you have to do a study on this. Over the last 10 years, it feels like 80, 90% of the time, a player that I'm not going to pick up the fifth year option on, and if I don't trade him, he plays out those 4 years because I'm paying him no matter what. So I might as well, in most positions, not quarterback, I can rotate you in a defensive end. I can, rotate you in at safety. You can play on special teams. It's what makes quarterback kind of unique. It's why guys like Kenny Pickett and Mac Jones, that they get kind of dealt, because if you're going to be a backup and I'm paying you $6-7 million, I might as well just trade you to some team that is willing to pay that, and that's happened recently. But the situation's really ugly, and the Browns have just found themselves in these situations over and over and over again. I had someone text me like, "How does Andrew Berry get extended?" And I don't know. I mean, the place is just weird. And sometimes it's like you get a guy that's never had any issue and then immediately has this issue. It's just like, is this the Browns? I mean, if you're a Browns fan, you're like, how does this keep happening to us? Like, I was excited for this pick. I was excited to watch this guy play. And now you just have to wonder, like, what's going to happen? God, I'm fired up. The British Open is here. The biggest names in golf teeing it up across the pond to chase history, the game's original major. Want to make some cash while watching people play golf? You can by betting on the action at Royal Portrush with DraftKings Sportsbook. From the opening round through Championship Sunday, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered with live betting, player props, and so much more. If you've never bet on golf before, it's easier than you think. Just pick something simple like a golfer to win the tournament. Rory McIlroy. Can he win his second major of the year? This is where he grew up. Last time it did not go well. He missed the cut. I do think Rory's going to be a major factor. Jon Rahm playing really well. Scotty Scheffler. Can he finally break through? You can also bet top 10s, top 20s, parlay them together. Does not get any easier. Here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the code JOHN. That's code JOHN for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. One thing that I do think is going to happen is he's going to be on the team. And they'll just kind of deal with, I guess, the PR, which I don't even know what that means. Like, what's negative PR? There's a lot of negative PR in Deshaun Watson. They gave him $230 million. They didn't give a shit. So, ugly situation.